Today we are going to demonstrate how to do an abdomen, a supine abdomen. Most patients now for a supine abdomen are going to be two images, either two crosswise or what we call a T-shot, one lengthwise and then a crosswise at the top. The reason for that is technically, according to the registry, an AP supine abdomen only requires pubic symphysis, but the radiologist, the superior border of the abdomen is the diaphragm. So most radiologists now want both borders on the images, which usually with adults necessitates two images to capture, one the pubic symphysis and one to capture the diaphragm. So today we're gonna do two crosswise. Andrew is my patient. There is a separate video for changing instructions and history taking. So we're assuming that all of that's been done. His history has been taken. I've confirmed who he is, and he has changed. He literally would have nothing on from basically ankles up. His underwear could stay on as long as there were no snaps, buttons, metal, or zipper, and then his gown would be on open to the back. So before I grab him, I'm gonna set the control panel. And on here, we are gonna pick abdomen and then AP. And then we're gonna set this. Now, a sthenic patient would be 80 at 10 mass. On Andrew, probably do 80 at 14, and we're on table grid a 40-inch SID. So I've got my image receptor. I'm gonna bring that in and place it in the crosswise to my patient. And lock that into place. And then I'm gonna move this out of the way, because anytime you put a patient on the table, you wanna make sure that your tube is not in the way for them at all, because patients don't always pay attention and you don't want them to knock themselves out. Pillow up there, and the mat. All right. It's pretty tall, but we can lower the table if we need to. Get on more comfortably. All right, come on in here for me. And we'll let you have a seat on here and lie on your back. All right, and then we'll raise this up. And that table will stop at 40. I could go beyond that. Can you straighten your legs out? But it is kind of nice that it stops at 40. And then we'll be at a 40-inch SID. And I know I'm at that when this light is lit, and I can see back there that I'm 40 inches to the table bucket. So we are going to make sure that we're aligned with the buggy tray and make sure that we're in D10, which we were. We're looking at the 40-inch collimator knobs, and we're going to go 14 inches by 17 inches. So that is 14 by 17 crosswise. And if I look a little screwy on the equipment, it's basically because this is new equipment to us. So I'm just trying to get my bearings. Usually when you have a patient on the table for something, you just want to kind of make sure they're straight. Can you scoot your hips to your right just a hair? Good. And you do not have to keep your feet like that. You can relax them. Just want to make sure the patient's straight so that you're okay. So that when he's imaged, it comes out straight. So central ray on a supine abdomen is midline, which means in line with the xiphoid process. And then the bottom image has to capture pubic symphysis. So pubic symphysis tends to be aligned with the greater trochanter. So I'm gonna palpate for greater trochanter. There we go. So greater trochanter is right here. So I'm gonna move him so that my light is going to capture. Now it's deceptive. So greater trochanter is here, but if I pull this out, we can see that my IR, even though it looks like my light field ends here, in reality, my light field ends about here. You can see where the image receptor, not my light field, the image receptor is placed there. So I feel like with that, I'm pretty good. I need to capture pubic symphysis. I'm gonna check and make sure I'm centered to him. So I'm midline. That looks good. This will be my bottom image. And all abdomen is done on exhalation so that the diaphragm rises. This is left marker. It's gonna go on the patient's left side. And a lot of times in field, I've been told they don't stick the markers on the patient because you lose your marker. Apparently they're putting that under the patient. Honestly, I just feel like I'm in the habit of getting my marker, so I'm gonna leave it on the patient versus trying to shove it under the patient. If you can access the IR, that would be another option. So I'm gonna leave Andrew just like this, and I'm gonna tell him, when I have you, I'm gonna have you taking a deep breath, and then you'll blow it all out and hold it out, okay?
Okay.
All right, ready? Go ahead, take in a deep breath. Blow that breath all out. Hold it out, don't breathe. Beep. Good, you can breathe. I'm gonna leave it just like that. So in order to capture the second image, what we do is we have to have overlap. So in order to ensure that I have overlap, what you can do is take your marker or your fingers, either would work. The marker this way is 2 inches, this is 1 inch. So I need at least 1 to 2 inch overlap. So if I put the top of my marker in the light field and I move my patient down so that my marker is in the bottom of the light field, then I know that this area right here is overlapped and it'll be on both images. So that's how I ensure that I have overlap so that the radiologist isn't going to miss anything. I want to make sure I'm still midline. And then this is not his left side, so I'm going to move it back over here. And that marker, even though it seems like it'll be in anatomy, in the first image, that would not have the marker, so it's visible in the first image, even though it's going to be obscured in the second image. All right, and I'm going to have his breathing the same. Everything's still lined up because the only thing I moved was the table. So I'm going to have him take in a deep breath. Blow it all out. Good, hold it out. Beep. Good, you can breathe and relax. Now what I would do is go check those images and make sure that they both came out. If they both came out, then I'm gonna go ahead and move this and allow my patient to get up and get dressed. When you get a patient off the table, you absolutely have to move the equipment out of the way so that they are not going to injure themselves. And ideally, you kind of wanna center the table back in the middle and bring it over so that he's not going to hit the edge of this. And then I know I brought it down when he got on there, so I'm gonna bring it down again. I'm not going to forget my marker. And then I'm gonna help the patient go ahead and sit up for me. Good. And then I would walk him back to the dressing room, let him get dressed, and tell him the radiologist would send the report to his ordering physician. That's a 2-view crosswise AP supine abdomen.